And now, from beyond our dimension, this is the JeffMara podcast. Here's Jeff.
My guest is the psychic housewife of New Jersey, April Busset. She's also a celebrity psychic medium and natural-born clairvoyant. She's the creator and founder and CEO of Ghosted Magazine. Great name, by the way.
Thank you.
And her work's been featured on the Travel Channel, and she's also collaborated with well-known TV paranormal celebrities to investigate the most notoriously haunted houses. April, welcome back. It's been 4 years, and it seems like it was yesterday.
I know. And I know. And I said, I follow you, and I'm like, Jeff's doing such a great job.
Thank you.
We were talking a little bit, but you know what I was seeing for you? I keep seeing you signing contracts, but I think it has to do with the podcast.
Sure. I mean, what
Yeah,
other contracts are there?
Yeah. I see like signing contracts, and it's almost like who is this for?
Would it be TV or?
It's something to get more of a fan base. It's more, I don't want to say scripted. So it's like TV or streaming something. It's something like that and what I see with this is there's going to be like ad revenue, because that's what I keep seeing on the paper.
Nice.
But it's definitely a contract for you. And I don't think you stay in one place. I think we're going to get you out of your office, and you might be traveling.
Well, hopefully you'll get me up to New Jersey and we can go out for pizza together.
Absolutely. We have the best pizza. So, and the best haunted locations.
There you go.
Yeah. So I've been to almost everyone in this area, I think. That's what I do. I get hired to go to these locations. I give lectures, but they want me to walk the guests around and tell them what I'm picking up in these haunted locations. I've had some crazy things happen while doing this. I actually got a private tour of this very haunted location, very famous. It's been on so many TV shows. And I remember they were walking me, and the guy says, "What do you feel here?" He goes, "Just stop right here." And I said, "Oh my God, I feel like I'm on fire." He goes, "Go by that door." So I'm walking towards this door, and I'm like, I'm burning. I feel like there's a fire. I can smell fire. And he goes, "What do you see behind that door?" And I'm like, I don't even want to know, but I'm going to tell you what I see. And I look, and there's a man that his skin is like burnt off, and he's hiding out in this closet. And I'm telling them that, and they're all like looking, their eyes are wide open. What happened at this location, and it's not widely known, so I don't think it's on the internet or anything like that, but a man next to this hospital, now haunted location, lit his family on fire in the house, burnt the house down. He survived. They brought him over to this place, and he, died eventually. And he's afraid to cross over. So because he's afraid he's going to hell. He has to pay for what he did. So he hides out there. So
Ooh.
yeah, it was really creepy.
Well, the last time you were here, I probably had about 10 or 20,000 subscribers. And thank God I'm over 200,000 now. So unless people have seen you on TV or seen my previous podcast, which I have so many, they probably haven't. They're meeting you for the first time.
Yes.
So can you tell my audience how you became a ghost hunter in the first place?
Sure. Well, this all started when I was a young child. At 4, my mom moved us, the whole family, to a new town in New Jersey. And the one night I was sleeping there, and I woke up, and I'm talking to my dad, and I'm yelling for my mom to come in because my dad's here, and everyone's running in. And I'm like, "Dad's here, Dad's here." My dad died 2 years prior. That's why we moved. So that's how it all started. So I started seeing spirits. I never saw my dad again, but whatever he did, he must open a portal in the house. But every entity in the 20-mile radius was coming to my house now. So it was crazy. So that's how it all started. And then, growing up, just knowing things, saying things to people, random things I would pick up, which I don't do anymore. um, and telling my friend's family. Now at the time, I think I was 14, and just started to learn to do the tarot cards. I was reading about it, I was trying to play with them. So the parents wanted a reading. So I'm playing with tarot cards, and I said, I know you're worried about somebody that's very sick. I, but whatever it is, I said, it's benign. Now, honestly, I didn't know what benign meant, but I heard it and I said it and I said, all right, thank you. They got up, walked away. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm never doing this again. Cause I thought they were mad at me. So I get a call the following week from the parents thanking me. It was my friend's older sister, had cancer, but they found out it was benign and she was going to be okay. So which is pretty cool. But then, now I'm getting known, as a teenager, people are calling me up because they have ghosts in their house. So I start going to homes and meanwhile I'm going to homes and I'm going to myself, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm just a kid, so I'm like, so I'm like trying to talk to these ghosts. Some of them are scary, just actually just last year I one of the homes that I had to go to, it's like an emergency. I had an emergency call from this family. And I go to the house, and I'm walking around and I know something's there. I could feel it. It's very dark, dark, and I'm hearing voices talking. She was hearing voices too, but she hears somebody walking around her bed. The poor woman, she's an older woman, frightened to death. Her husband died. So I said to her, I go into the one room and I'm like, oh my God. I said, I'm seeing this dark, winged, I don't even know what to call it, like devil-like thing crouching on your husband. He passed. I said, "Is this where he died?" He didn't die there, but he was dying. This was the room they kept him in. I saw this thing crouching down on his chest, like trying to stop him from breathing. He died a few days later. Um, but her daughter was there, and the daughter looks at me, and I'm describing this thing. It's a black winged thing. It's a human form, crouched down. And that used to be her bedroom. She looks at me, she goes, April, I used to see that thing all the time as a kid. I said, oh my God, you poor thing. This thing has been in the house for years, lingering there. But honestly, I think the husband, who is a well-known surgeon, I think he had a dark secret and attracted this demonic-like thing to the house. So, but it's crazy when I was saying that, the daughter's like, her eyes are wide open. She goes, I used to see that all the time in my room because they had 2 beds in this room, and that was the bed she didn't sleep in. She had the bed next to it, and she would look over and see this crouching winged thing. Imagine seeing that as a child.
You'd probably be having a nightmare all the time
Yeah.
about it.
And I gotta tell you, like, I tell people, you think, like, what you see on TV is not always accurate because a lot of times when I go to these homes, I have to keep going back. I said, I'm not gonna get this out in one shot. I have to weaken it.
Wow.
Yeah, so when I go there, I say, it's gonna, ramp up more activity. It's gonna be even louder, because I know the second time I went there, banging on the wall in the basement, because I'm walking around, just saying prayers, just, telling it to leave, and it's banging on the wall, banging, and I'm by myself. I usually bring somebody with me. I'm telling you, I was so freaking scared. But because it's so eerie, it's like, it's funny because the wall it was banging on, like, there's nothing on the other side of that wall, it's the outside of the house. So, what the hell is banging on it? But I still have to go back there. I'm actually gonna call in some big guns of people that I know. I'm gonna need a big group for this one. So, I do have to continue to go back. Some, I can go in and get rid of it right away. I did that for one where it was, the woman called my friend, and my friend called me, and I called the lady, and I knew what I was saying, but I didn't wanna say it over the phone because I didn't wanna scare her because it was a little scary. So when I get into the house, I walk right through the door past her, and I walk into the kitchen. I said, "This is where the activity that you guys were saying, things being knocked off the wall." She said, "Yeah." I said, "Don't be scared, but it's like a woman. It's a creepy, like on her all fours, like backwards, crawling on the the wall." And I said, "Are you guys hearing scratching and banging in the living room?" And she said, "Yes." I said, "'Cause it stays in the basement." She's down there, but she likes to climb the walls and the ceilings. So, I'm walking around the house and I get to their bedroom and as I'm walking in, the spirit of this woman starts pushing me. She's like, "Get out, get out, get out." And I'm like, "All right, I'm getting out." She was nice. I knew she was there to protect me. So I turned to the lady and I said, "Who's Claire?" She goes, "Oh my God, that's my mother. She just died." I said, "Well, she's protecting you guys in here." She goes, "This is where we all sleep ever since this happened." So, I said, "Well, Claire's your mom is taking very good care of you guys." Um, I said, Let me go down to the basement." I'm walking around the basement and I'm going, I'm seeing, also another spirit here, but it's good. It's for you. I'm getting the name Brian. I feel like he was a firefighter or wore a uniform, something. So she goes, she's like, turn around. She walks through the closet. She pulls out this fireman suit. The guy's named Brian. It was their friend of theirs that just recently passed away, too. I said, "Well, he's here, too." So, anyway, so I go walk around. I get into this one corner and I see the thing that's scaring everyone. And I'm talking to her. And I get her because a lot of people, when you see the spirits and you see like the Dead Files with Amy Allen, and she's talking about these creepy, crawly things, they do that. They change her appearance to scare us because they're scared, and then some just are scutches, you know. But I talked to her and I said, I got her down to human form. And what happened was this woman that used to live there, that originally owned this home in the 1920s, had mental issues and her husband loved her so much, he put her in this home, the best of the best for her. He sold the home so he could afford that. She dies. She comes back to the house. She's looking for her husband. So I tell her her husband has crossed over. He's passed. So, and with that, I said, "You're going to have to go with your family. Your family's going to come for you." I wasn't picking him up. It's weird, but all of a sudden, and I've only seen this 3 times, so it freaked me out. I get scared too. This ball of light, this the brightest light, but you can look at it, opens up, and it's just like she's sucked into it. So taking her to the other side. But it was a ball of light of love, and, like, you knew it was good. So I've seen that 3 times. It's the weirdest experience. It's like ghosts, like, when the light comes down, except it's a ball of light.
Hmm.
It was amazing, amazing. So she crossed over. So that house is clear, but you don't always get that.
Are all the spirits that you encounter humans without bodies, or are you ever running into like demons or something?
Oh yeah. I think we spoke about this the last time. What I call the soul collectors. Wherever there's spirits lingering in a property, these soul collectors come around. They try to keep these human spirits locked here. I don't know if they feed off of their energy, make their do their bidding, because I've seen this before at another location. This another man that I help. I have to keep going back like every year and a half. And I got rid of the one spirit was there, but it's funny. He had called me up. He's a vet, eh, nice guy. Doesn't believe in this, but there was stuff going on that's unexplainable. He would be some of it's a little funny, but he would be in the shower. He has a small, small apartment. His little tiny bathroom off the kitchen, and off the kitchen is the living room, and off the kitchen is the bedroom. But he would have wet towels thrown at him while he was in the shower or on his couch. Now, mind you, he's like, but the sink was dry, the floor was dry, nothing happened in the toilet. The sink is dry in the bathroom. Like, it was just weird. He would be sitting in his living room, the same thing would be happening. Um, he couple times he went to go shop, right? He's retired, he's an older gentleman, he'd come home, and he's little too, so he would find his mattress in the bathroom sticking out. So just I have gone there. I have it's poltergeist activity. There was one spirit there that was kinda stuck there because I remember asking when I walked in there, I said, "Did you find children's book in the house?" He said, "Well, we did construction, and we found a children's book behind the walls." And I said, "The woman that was stuck here was the mother of the children. She got stuck, she was looking for her children. I was able to cross her over, but there's a thing there that's causing the poltergeist activity, so it won't leave. It won't listen to me." I said, "He'll disappear for a while. He'll go away for," because I remember the first time I went there, I said, "He'll leave for," I said, "I think you're gonna call me in a year." And a year to the day, I get the phone call from him, he's like, "It's back." And poltergeist activity is usually because of a person that's in the house. This is actually a two-family house. He owns the top floor. There's a vet, another vet that he knows that is on the bottom that owns it with his dad. That vet has PSTD, PTSD, uh, very paranoid and everything. I think it's coming from him. So his energy, but he will not talk to me. He leaves if I'm coming over, and he just wants nothing to do with me. He won't let me go down there. And I said, unless I can get down there and to talk to him, I'm gonna just keep coming back and putting this thing at bay. Because he manifested this thing. It's created from him. So it, crazy, crazy, you know?
It's fascinating that you talked about this soul collector, and I had forgotten about that. But
Yeah.
but what's popular now on YouTube is that the idea of reincarnation being a trap and we're forced to return over and over again. So imagine if the soul collectors out there
Yeah. Yeah.
collecting souls for the
Yeah.
trap.
They like to let them they have them do the bidding, and they lie to them. See, because I mean, and I tell people, "Don't be afraid, don't think this is gonna happen to you." Um, it's rare, and in their time frame, it's mere seconds to us, you know? It's a lifetime to us, seconds to them. And, it's just that this thing tells them, "Don't go to the light," "That's where Satan is," or they scare them. Because once you kinda get stuck in between, you start losing a little, your memories start fading of this life, so you're not sure, you're in between, so yeah, it's crazy.
What?
I threatened by the soul collector.
Really? In
Yeah,
what way?
I never wanna mess with him again. This one, a very famous haunted location, they would never let anyone go down in the basement. And they brought me down there. They wanted me to see what was down there. And I went down there. It's really creepy. And all of a sudden I could see this lanky, tall thing, this man, lanky, tall, long arms, long legs, skinny, like almost if he was in a pinstripe suit. It was weird. But he had a bloody devil's head. But I think he wanted to appear that way to me to scare me. Um, and all of a sudden he started like changing the frequency around me. It's like almost I felt like it was running around the room really fast. I was affecting my aura, my auric field, my frequency, my body. I started feeling ill and I said, I can't stay down here. And I ran up the stairs and I felt like nauseous and I'm sitting there and all of a sudden this is gonna sound crazy when I tell people, it's just insane. But like on Friday 13th when Freddy Krueger comes through the wall, it's kind of rubbery, the wall, like, when he comes through the wall and you just see the outline of him, this thing did the same thing, and it told me it's not to reassure me he's not here for the living. He's for the spirits that are here. But he was warning me not to mess with him. I had to cancel all my readings the following week because I was so sick, like, I was nauseous all week. So now I'm talking to the owner, and I'm telling him what happened and what I saw down there, and she goes, "Oh my god, we had a famous psychic from the UK here, not too long ago. He saw the same thing. He ran up the stairs, but he threw up." And I said, "'Cause he's a wuss." I didn't throw up. But, I've been back to this location numerous times. I love it there, but, yeah, it's still there. I don't mess with it. I don't talk to it. I don't care. I'm like, "You do your thing," because honestly, wherever I go, they make me sign, a waiver that I will not cross spirits over. I'm like, "Okay," So
Well,
it's not my job.
it's bad for business if the
It's
spirits
bad for
leave.
business, some people get mad at me. I said, "I signed a waiver, I can't. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. And please, some of these things are not good anyway." So it's crazy.
I recently had a near-death experiencer tell me that for a hobby, I guess, he was a paranormal investigator and
Mhm.
he got attacked and it, I guess, shook him up so bad he quit doing it.
Yeah, that's what happens. A lot of people, I always ask investigators when I meet them, "Why'd you get into this?" I said, "Either you had an experience or you lost a loved one." So they want the answers. They want to know where our loved ones go, you know, or why did I have that experience and I want to experience it again? It's like people addicted to the roller coaster, that high. It is like a high. It's a high for me too. I enjoy it. Scary as hell. You know, I don't like being threatened.
Would you say that you're clairvoyant, clairaudient, or all the clairs?
All the clairs, because I could smell, I could taste sometimes, like the when I was at that place, I could smell the smoke. I can see images in my head. Um, and sometimes I'll taste blood. Like I remember one time I was doing a live reading on a podcast, and all of a sudden I didn't want to say it, but I knew the guy shot himself in the mouth, and I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm tasting blood." And he did this in front of his I said, "Somebody saw this," like, it was the wife, so I could taste the blood, I could taste the gunpowder. So, yeah, it's not fun.
Would you consider yourself an exorcist?
Um, I did training it. I train in it. I don't wanna do it because I did have an experience one time with somebody that was, um, starting the possession process. And I spoke to the family. This guy owned 3 businesses. They were well-to-do, they had young children, beautiful wife. He was good looking, but he had a devilish side to him. So when I talked to the family a few times and I decide to go to the house, um, I'm gonna perform an exorcism. All the prayers I know, how I was taught. And I'm doing this, and in the last paragraph of talking and when I'm finishing, over his shoulder, because he had his back towards the bedroom door, and across from the bedroom was another bedroom, but the door was closed. It was bright white because the bathroom in between's light was on, so it was shining a bright white door. And I'm saying the last sentence, and all of a sudden, this big 7-foot black figure comes out of the bathroom, blacks out that white door, and as that thing is coming out, the man says to me, "I don't wanna let go of it. I like it." He just gave it permission. I said, "All right, then I can't help you." I ran down the stairs. I said, "If I'm sorry, I can't help you." I got my car and I left because I was afraid of this thing coming with me because he gave it permission and he liked it. And we have free will. Even people under possession still have free will, you know? So, I mean, there's really severe cases where it takes over completely, which I haven't witnessed. I have seen videos of real ones that nobody's ever seen before. Because I am a shaman, so I know our chief had showed us one of the exorcisms that she had performed, and it was pretty crazy. The lady never remembered what happened, but it was crazy. But she wasn't spitting out pea soup, so
Hmm.
But
Wh-
it's very scary. I really thought this thing was gonna follow me.
What's your take on Ouija boards?
I know everyone says it's bad, you're opening a portal, but you know what? In a sense, what I do is the same thing, you know?
Yeah, but you're trained. I mean, for the average person.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, but be careful what you wish for, especially I my biggest advice to investigators or anyone, if you are not feeling well, or if you had an argument with family, girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever, do not go on an investigation. You're easy prey. You're weak now. You have weakened yourself. You opened yourself up, and that's what they go for, you know? So
That,
they always go for the weak ones.
that's a good tip.
Yeah. So I know I have canceled going out on investigations just for fun with my friends. I remember one time I was getting ready to leave and I was so excited. Had an argument with my daughter and I was so upset about it. I said, I can't go because it'll prey on me because I'm weak right now because that affected me having an argument with her. And she had already left, so we couldn't make up. So so I had to stay home. It does. It's just like, like in real life, you know how the gangs go after the kids that are not popular
Hmm.
or the weak ones?
Yeah.
That's what they do too. They're gang leaders.
Do you think that you have some sort of spiritual lighthouse and that's how these souls
Oh,
find you?
absolutely. I've always said that psychic means people with abilities will always shine brighter. There's something about our light. Like I know I can change one did you ever hear the floor camera? The
Uh-uh.
one that like a heat signature, so it could see like the heat markings of the bodies, like the heat around you, or if you're hot or cold.
I haven't.
So you have all right. It's pretty cool. It's just a camera, and so if you had the camera on me and it's dark, all you can see is an outline of my body and heat. Heat under my arms and places that would be hot on my body. So I remember I was out on location with some people, and I know when I first started, what I would do is I would send my energy up as high as it can, almost into a cone to reach the other side so I can make it that connection. I don't need to do it anymore now. I can just like, thought process. But I said to one of the guys, I said, "Hey, put that camera on me." I said, "Watch this." And I said, "What are you seeing?" And he's like, "Oh my God, there's a cone on your head and it's getting higher and higher." And I said, "That's exactly what I'm doing." So it's pretty crazy. But you know what? The camera that back then they had, it didn't record. I'm like, "Oh, I wish we would have had like if somebody like, filmed it with their phone or something." But it was pretty cool. I do want to do that again. But I don't use that technique anymore.
Have you
You know,
ever considered going to the UK and exploring some of those haunted castles?
I would love to. I would absolutely. I mean, as a kid, I dreamt of doing it. I would love to have to, but now life is so busy. It's like I don't have time, and I got a family, so I'm like, oh, because you know what? Now, like we're gonna start going into Paracon season, so I get hired a lot. I just signed a bunch of contracts. I'll be in Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana. I'm gonna be all over the place. Um, and plus I travel for the magazine now, so we go to haunted locations that we write about. So, I'm really cutting down on that. I think I will wind up probably within the next 2 years be going. I have a feeling somebody's gonna contact me to go there.
Don't you have a new TV show or something coming up?
So I just filmed the pilot. Yes, I've just filmed the pilot and it was very exciting. We were supposed to keep it quiet, but somehow it got leaked to the papers. So I said, all right, I guess we could talk about it somewhat. I can't give all the details, but it's called A Telltale Haunting. And we went to the Edith Wharton house in Massachusetts, and she was a famous writer. So I was an artist in school, so I didn't read much literature, so I really didn't know who she was, but she wrote, oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. Um,
Is the Wharton School of Business named after her
I don't
or
believe so.
somebody else? Might
Probably
be another
somebody else.
family member.
Anyway, so filming there was pretty crazy, and they had me do a walkthrough, and they wouldn't tell me anything everything I was picking up, even the names and everything, they wouldn't tell me if I was right or wrong. But the guy, one of the castmates, who's our historian, I thought his head was gonna explode because every time I gave information, he's like, I can't say anything. And he's like, so I found out later that like the name of the husband that's still there. And I was saying, I keep seeing this man banging on this bedroom door. And then they brought me to the bedroom, banging on the door, trying to break in. And I see him like breaking into the room and writing in books, like rewriting it because he's mad that he didn't do it. So it turned out her husband, Teddy, and I was saying he has a mental disorder, something this guy's bipolar, something wrong with him. He wound up having mental issues and she had to lock herself in her room because he was banging on the door trying to get in. So his ghost is there, but there's quite a few ghosts there. So it's a very interesting concept. We are going to homes of some of the most famous authors in the world, like very well known. And I guess I don't know the backstory. They just bring me. I don't have the list, so I don't know where I'm going. But I know some were untimely deaths, so I'm going to go in there and just pick up the ghosts of them. But we're also doing the story on the authors telling their story. But I'm going in there to talk to the ghosts of these authors or who may still, reside in these homes.
Are you shopping this pilot, or do you already have a contract with a certain network?
They they're actually going back and forth with 2 networks. So,
Cool.
and I love both of them. I love both of them, so and, we have a very famous director and production crew who works with, one of these, big networks.
I know this may not be your forte, but you are in Jersey and there have been drones like crazy flying over the state.
Yeah.
Have you witnessed any of that, and what is your
Um
opinion on it?
I did, like, from far away, so my opinion on it, it was just drones.
Mhm.
It was just drones. I think it was a little bit of people using their drones, and I think a little bit was military. And I think they did come out and say it was the military.
I think what they said is the drones were cleared by the FAA and they were for research and other various reasons.
Yeah, which is the government. So I knew it wasn't UFOs or anything. I've seen UFOs here, and
Really?
because where I live is one of the hot spots of UFOs. As a matter of fact, A&E did a whole story about it in the early 80s. This happened in the 70s, where this a UFO actually landed. When I first met my husband, when I first came to this town, he took me past this park, Hudson County Park, and it was all taped off like police tape, and there's a big black burn mark in the grass. And I was here for years, always driving past it, never went away. And then finally, I think like 10 years later, it finally like went away and they took the fence down and everything. But they had cops, teachers, um, detectives that were off duty that saw this UFO. And then it was, across from this big building, and the doorman saw it, and he said, like, something got out of it. So it's weird, it's crazy. But for A&E to do a very serious story on it is very interesting because the people were very credible.
When I heard the name of your magazine, Ghosted, it reminds me of this talk radio show in the morning about call in if your boyfriend or your girlfriend ghosted you.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little bit different subject, but still, I think it's a great name for what you've done.
Thank you. Yeah, I was thinking hard when I wanted to name the magazine. I came up with this idea like 3 years ago. I said, "You know what?" And I remember saying to my old manager, I said, one day, I said, "I wanna start a magazine, I'll know when it's right," you know? I didn't have the name yet. So, now, like, the paranormal shows, you see everything's, you know, tanking. Nobody's doing shows anymore. Thank God our show, 'cause it's literary, with a
Hmm.
little go twist to it. Um but, I said to myself, "Oh my god, this is the perfect time for my magazine." Because 'cause I'm in the field, I know everybody, so I can interview all the celebrities. So I have celebrities on the cover, but I do everyday, investigators, like I scour social media. I'm looking for the lesser known teams, not the ones with the big egos doing the videos. And I'm looking just for this team, this cute little team that's out there just investigating because they love it. And that's who I handpicked for the magazine. But I do have my celebs on the cover. And I also do my tarot scopes for every issue. So it's a quarterly magazine, or else I wouldn't be able to breathe. I couldn't do this monthly. So I'm actually like I just interviewed this couple over the weekend that's working with a huge, very well-known team. I can't say yet until the magazine comes out, but they brought this huge team and the best of the best. I told them you're in good hands. And I just wanted to interview them because I wanted to follow them along like on a case. Um, So, and I wanted to do a story behind like the cases that they do without using the names and everything. But and I never expect this, even like when I do my interviews, I'm like, I shut down, like I don't want to pick up anything. I just want to be a journalist and write about it. But as soon as the guy started talking, I knew what he saw. And I saw it and I said it to him and I told him what I saw. And he goes, that's exactly what I say. And I'm like, "Oh, I'm so scared for you." I said, "But you're in good hands, thank God." But what I saw, it was so creepy. This tall, very tall, heavy-set, bald guy with the most demonic grin on him. And I said, "I see it in the garage." And it just stares at the door going into the house in the garage. And he goes, "That's exactly where we see it." And he goes, "And that's exactly what I see." I mean, I saw a lot of details, like what's going on in this house, but it's crazy what goes on there. So that was just from an interview. So I can't wait for this story to come out. That's gonna be out, end of March, beginning of April. So
I'm not sure
I gotta get you in there.
what would I do?
I can interview you about your podcast. I mean,
Oh,
you're
okay.
huge now.
Oh, okay,
You
great.
got 1,250,000 people following you.
Yeah, I don't have any ghost stories though.
No, but it's your stories behind the stories.
Right.
Talking.
Actually, I kind of do. I don't know if it's a ghost story, but recently I was recording a podcast a few weeks ago and I get a buzzing in my ear sometimes, bzz, twice. I
Yeah.
get power fluctuations in my room. And the first time I went to my wife and said, "Was the power flickering?" She said, "No." And I went upstairs and asked one of my kids, "Was the power flickering?" "No." So maybe I need you to come over and see what's
Yes,
going
I'm
on.
gonna have to come there. Do you is there an extension on your house that's different?
Yeah, we call it a casita. It's like a
Okay.
bungalow. It's
Oh,
like a
oh.
mother-in-law suite.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Because I don't know, just I get two time periods in this house.
The house is about 25 years old-ish, so it's
All right, then I can pick up the
not that old.
property. That's not that old, but it could be the property.
The property before the house was here.
Yeah, before that, because you would be surprised how much the property absorbs.
Hmm.
How many times I have done locations. As a matter of fact, wait, I'm trying to think. I know I was doing a live sometime. I was doing live readings, and somebody came on, and we were talking back and forth, blah, 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 and talking about the haunting going on. I said, "Oh my God, there is a body buried on your property all the way in the back, but it was moved, but it's still in the property."
Hmm.
And the guy said, "Yeah." He goes, "We found a grave, but the guy, they looked into it. The guy was buried there, but actually moved the body to another part of the property." So it's crazy. So it's the property sometimes, the ghost on the property. This house is new, but the old property that was there was what this man owned. So this is his property,
Hmm.
you know.
Yeah. You never know.
I did another one. This is oh wait, I feel like wait, it was a trailer park. And when I went there, because the kids were seeing, I said, "Oh my God, I see fire, like this whole place on fire." And this man died in this fire, but he was going around warning everyone. So he's warning the girls. He wants to save the girls. He's still living this. So after I had left, I think a few weeks later, the family got back to me. They did research. That town, like where this used to be the trailer park, the whole town burned down. This man went from house to house trying to save the people. He died eventually in the fire trying to save children.
Hmm.
So this man was haunting the property in a good way. So it was the land, not the trailers. It's the land.
Yeah, you never know. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm in Texas, and there's a lot
Yeah.
of probably a
Oh,
lot of these
yeah.
neighborhoods were originally farmland,
Yeah.
or if you go back, maybe cowboys and Indians killed each
Well,
other.
actually, you know what? I keep getting two different years of this property, like 1950 and 1920. 1950, 1920. It's like two separate, not that they're haunting your house. I could just feel the energies there because the energy doesn't die. But I feel like this is 1950s, 1920s. Um, um, I know there's a African American woman, but she was like a nursemaid, that took care of kids. Beautiful woman, just lovely. That still says love taking care of the kids. I know, look into that.
So if it was just some sort of energy,
Yeah,
what would you do versus telling a spirit to leave?
um, well, I will tell you, um, astrologically, we've had a huge shift in with the planets recently in the past few months. Even I said, "Oh my god, I feel so off," and everyone's talking about being very tired or wiry or sad, blah blah, but the energy's off. So, how long ago did this happen? Because it's been the
Uh,
past 6 months.
no, like a couple weeks ago.
All right, yeah, we're still in that energy because one of the Pluto is changed signs that this sign was in Pluto for 30 years. I'm not an astrologist, but I love astrology. But I know when that big shift happens, it really affects us. It's like almost pulling our skin off. We feel like we're going to jump out of our bodies. It's a very uncomfortable feeling. But I could hear it. Like, so it was really driving me crazy. Like, I gotta tell you, for a month, all I heard was buzzing because it's the alignment moving, it's the energy of the earth changing. So it was like it drove me insane that I had to keep watching TV just to get my mind off of it.
While we're on the topic of what's happening, I'm not really sure if you do this kind of psychic analysis, but can you tell us what's in store for 2025?
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you, well, I gotta tell you, right now it's like almost peeling our skin off. It's like it almost hurts. It's painful. Because astrologically, what we're going through, but this is going by March, going into the summer months, you're gonna see everything like it's almost like the light is shining down on us, this nonstop sunlight. We're gonna start feeling good. Things are changing for the better. We're not in the age of Aquarius, but we're going into it, where we're gonna start taking better care of ourselves. People are gonna start uniting. People are coming back together. You're gonna see this shift by May, June, and this is gonna continue. Like, I see this continuing for years to come, this energy. I know everyone's feeling really bad right now, but it's this is like the pain before, you're completely healed. It's you're renewed. So, yeah, this is the renewal process. It's us healing off our old skin which is painful, but we're being renewed, going into a new era, and it's going to be very good. It's just going to be a little painful right now. It's hard right now. It feels dark. We feel lost. It's not going to stay that way. I really feel like there's going to be I really don't do world events, but I feel like, well, you see all the plane crashes right now. There's going to be a change in the way we fly. There's gonna be something different, more rocket-like, but still the same thing. The way the planes are gonna be made are gonna be different. It's I almost like I feel like they're changing the material of planes, that it's gonna be safer. So, you know what my advice to everyone? You know what I do? Um, Check out, like, look at frequencies, the numbers, what they do, healing, love, draw money. I put on all my TVs, I put on frequencies on all my TVs, the same frequency to balance out the house. It's like cleanse the house, bring money, bring health, you could do that. Um, Now for you, honestly, I said this earlier, I see you signing the contract. And this is gonna have to do with getting ad revenue, and it's for what you do now. Um, but I feel like traveling around you. And you're not always gonna have your family, it's gonna be you, but there's gonna be some places you're gonna be able to bring your family. So you're getting ready for this to end the year into 20 I would say 2026 into 2027. You're gonna get a lot bigger than you already are now. There's gonna be offers, there's gonna be business offers coming to you. So get prepared.
That's good news.
Yeah, it's great news, you know? So
As
we are
an
actually we're going into a really good time. I gotta tell you, like almost all the signs, like all the cardinal signs, Aries, Libra, Capricorn, and Cancer are going through the best time of their lives. Again, most will feel it mid-year, but it's a good time. What's on you?
I'm Gemini.
Gemini. Oh, Gemini's gonna have a great year. Gemini. Geminis are gonna have a really great year. Oh, this is see, watch. Heed my words about signing contracts.
One of my previous guests recently, and I think she's also a celebrity psychic, advised me to write a book. So, hey, there you go.
Who was it?
Susan Miller?
Oh, I know Susan. I me and my friend Will, my best friend Will, we interviewed her for a podcast. But we're huge fans of her. She's amazing. What she says comes true. She's the most famous astrologist. She had so many followers. Let me tell you, her words to God's ears. You're gonna get it. Absolutely. But I'm telling you, that's what I'm seeing. Your career is gonna take off.
In the beginning, I mentioned that you're a celebrity psychic. I mean,
Yes.
obviously you are on TV and
Yeah.
you go to these
I've
cons and
read
stuff, but do you
yeah.
also do also celebrities come to you for readings and work?
Yes, but unfortunately, most of them make me sign NDAs, so I cannot talk about it.
Wow.
I'm like, can't you like could somebody like Kim D from the Housewives in New Jersey, I love her. You know, she posted on my website and everything. I used to do all readings at her house. So she was part of the Housewives in New Jersey. She did Daryl Morrison from Ghost Hunters 2.0, the second part, Brendan Alvis. One of the as a matter of fact, I'm supposed to go to one of the Jersey Shore people's houses because they're having issues in their home. So that's in coming up in a few months. I'll be going there.
You got to get ready
She
to do some
mentioned, yeah.
fist pumping.
Yeah. Well, I'm Sicilian, I'm Italian. So it's funny, and I've met her already. So we worked a Paracon together, and we're also I think I'm working another Paracon with her, so but I will post about that because I asked, I said, "Hey, you gotta let me do this."
That's fascinating. So when these celebrities come to you or you go to their house, you show up and they say, "Oh, by the way, you need to sign this piece of paper."
Yeah, a lot of them do NDAs. I had to do I've read for very famous attorneys that are on TV, and, so it is because it's personal stuff. They're coming to me not to be on TV,
Hmm.
but to get a personal reading, so and you know what? I would never discuss my clients,
Right.
unless they give me permission. Um, so, but you know what? They want to make sure that I'm not gonna sell their story, what's going on, because I get personal, because I find out personal stuff, of course. Once I'm around you, I'm gonna see, what you're doing and everything.
You've been to
So,
many haunted houses and haunted places. Can you give us your
yes.
top 5 places for people who are into this
Oh,
stuff that they should visit?
all right. So I'm gonna give you a little juicy one that's not all right. It's not well known yet. One of my favorite places, and my business partner runs it, but it's so well for these people. It's called the New Egypt Historical Society in New Jersey. Holy cow, it's so unassuming, but when you walk in, oh, it's lovely. It's very quaint. It is so haunted. I saw a black wing guy there. I just crazy things happen there. My business partner was scratched on 2 different occasions, right? And live, a team came there doing a live show, and it happened live on TV, live on Facebook.
Did you see scratch marks on him?
Yes.
Wow.
We're watching him, and you see it, and it's bleeding, it's bleeding. Um, the one time I wasn't with him, he sent me pictures, not gonna believe what happened to me. So that's uh, the New Egypt Historical Society in New Jersey. Uh, Number 2 would be, 'cause this is in Jersey, I'll go into more that are further away. White Hill Mansion in Fieldsboro, New Jersey. I did a show there. I filmed a show for a streaming network. That was crazy, crazy. Number 3 would be the haunted Shanley Hotel in Napanoch, New York. So haunted. It's insane there, and I love the owner, Kelly. She's a sweetheart. You want 5, right? So number 4, oh, Hillview Manor in Pennsylvania. Crazy, crazy. As a matter of fact, that is Jack Osborne's favorite place, haunted place. And what would be my 5th? Oh my god, I've been to so many places. Let me think, let me think. I'm drawing a blank. I am drawing a blank. I can't think. I can't think. I've been to so many, I can't even remember where I've been. Travel so much. You know, this summer, I'm going from Illinois, Texas, Indiana. I'm like, I'm gonna be flying a lot.
I think the last time we were together, you were going to fly somewhere like down to Virginia or.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I went to, oh my god, that was crazy. That was crazy. Oh my god. I went, it was a bed and breakfast, and I went, they, went there. We had a group that came in. I was explaining to what happened. It was horrible, but I actually saw a rape that had occurred there. But they were seeing shadow figures, and I know Mustafa Gadalori was there a month prior to me, for an investigation. He's from Ghost Hunters too, but he stayed in the bedroom. I stayed. Now I stayed at this. I slept there by myself, so I'm getting ready for bed, and I'm laying in bed. I have my laptop with me, and there's banging on the door. I'm in this place by myself. There's banging coming from the closet in the room. Then I'm hearing people walking around the bed, and then I'm feeling the bed going down. So I called up my friends, "You gotta come get me. I have to get out of here." I booked a hotel, right? I'm booking, I'm so nervous. We drive to a hotel 7 block. It's like a crack house. I said, "Oh my god, I can't stay here." So it's like I couldn't find a hotel 'cause it's in the summer. And I wound up having to go back to this haunted location. Oh, so anyway, I skipped this part. When we left the house, when I was gonna go to the hotel, we had to go and I had to shut all the lights off, da, 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 we came down. We're outside talking, and also we're looking up where the bedroom is, and the light goes on, and you see a person walk past. So I'm like, and I had to go back there and sleep. I kept hearing the noise, but I finally passed out. I was so exhausted. So, yeah, it's fun.
Is there anything that you're working on that you want people to
Um,
know about?
oh, well, right now I'm filming that TV series, so we have more episodes to film. Thank God I'm gonna be on the East Coast, and they're working around my schedule because I was already I signed contracts to appear at locations. So I'll be working on that. But I still do my personal readings here. So if people need to get a hold of me, it's intuitiveapril.com. And also everything's there where I'm gonna be, but, where I'm going, where I'm appearing, and just little fun stuff.
April, after watching this podcast, people may want to reach out to you and ask you questions. Are you open to that?
Sure, usually have to book a reading with me, or I am so busy, but they might get my assistant, and if it comes to me, like, you know what? I don't like to do missing persons cases. I am working on 2 of them. It was just because it's a favor for 2 people that I know. Please don't contact me. I can't handle doing that, especially if they passed. And I don't want to deliver that news. It's not my forte. I like happy things, you know. But I'm working on 2 cases. The one case the mother already knows that he's passed because she saw my face when she showed me the picture. She cornered me somewhere that I was going to be, and she cornered me, and I'm like, "Ah, I." And she showed me the picture, and I knew he was gone. And she goes, "I already know he's passed." So, I said, "Listen, I know what happened to him." I said, "It's 3 people involved." And I said, "They beat the crap out of him. They beat him to death." And I said, the one person's name, the name I gave her is the suspect. She just wants his body.
Well, before we wrap it up, can you leave us with a last positive message?
Oh, absolutely. You know, I just want to tell everyone it's been dark over the past 20 years. Do you feel it's like on a darker note with humans in general? We're unhappy. It's just seems the energy's off. It is about to change. You know, when they talk about the age of Aquarius, it is coming. I can feel I have been feeling it for 2 months, and it's such a good feeling, like, even, like, there's a the end of this rainbow, we get that pot of gold, and it's gonna be for everyone. Everyone's gonna start being kinder to one another. Our health is going to improve. So, it's good we're going into a good age. We're going into a really good time.
April, thank you for your message, and thank you for being my guest again.
Thank you for having me again, Jeff. I just adore you.
And I love you. Thanks for watching the JeffMara podcast. I really appreciate you. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. And if you do, there are loyalty badges and other perks depending on your level of membership. All you need to do is click the join button underneath the video to find out more. Thank you for your support.